All right, guys, so we're working on our big road job, and I have run up with the second bunch of yellow jackets. The first bunch I was able to kind of avoid, but this one's, they're right in my way. So I'm flying you in here. This is the first part of the road coming in. This is a three-way intersection we're coming up on. It's all rough graded. This has been brought up about a foot and a half, 2 foot, something like that. So the yellow jackets are to the left. Fly you down to the right, show you this, and then we'll go down there and check the yellow jackets out. So I'm just easing the drone along. This is like real. This is not sped up. Now the drone's starting to pick up speed. It's probably running about 25 mile an hour here. I think it's 2 foot off the ground. I thought it looked cool, so I stuck it in the video. So that's not quite the end of the road. But, all right, so now we're lifting off by the yellow jacket nest. So the yellow jackets are over in front of the machine. A little bit to the left, there is like an old pine stump there, and they seem to be in between it and another pine tree. The yellow jackets are really hard to video. This is about my 4th attempt doing it on different nests. So far, the drone has done the best job. Some of this is really good. You can see it, and some of it I wound up cutting because they're just hard to see. But so I caught them early in the morning. This is really early. It's probably about 40 to 45 degrees. Probably ain't 40. It's probably 45 degrees. So they're very sluggish on a cold morning like that. So the nest is right in front of me there. Can't see them moving around yet, but I'm fixing to start digging them in the wheel. I'm trying to get us oriented where we can kind of see what's going on here, where it makes sense. So I've probably been in 30 or 40 yellow jackets nests over the last few years, and I've got a pretty good way of dealing with them. I normally pump gas in on them with a little 12-volt fuel pump. I'll put some pipe up, put it right at their hole, before it's daylight, or in the dark. I'll slip up there and put the pipe at their hole, and I'll pump about 2 or 3 gallons of gas in their hole, and they're done after that. Whatever survives it, so drunk it can't do nothing with you. You can go in there and do whatever you need to do. But this particular one here, I couldn't actually find the hole, so I just started digging. And the idea when you can't find the hole is to dig the nest up. A lot of times you don't really get to see the honeycomb, but so I set out here to dig it up and bury it. You can start to see them pretty good here in the sun. So early morning like this, they're kind of sluggish, thank goodness. Otherwise, my machine would be literally covered up at this point. And there's certain times of year they're more aggressive. Fortunately, these weren't like crazy. A lot of times they'll get in that mesh under the cab. They'll get in all that. They'll be all in the machine, and you got to sit in it for a long time before you can get out. But you can see them swarming here. I've actually had them get sucked up to the radiator while I was working, and I'll keep working 30 or 45 minutes later after I leave the nest, and I think they're all gone, and then I switch the machine off. They all get loose from the radiator, and that ain't a fun time. So again, here I'm just more or less trying to dismantle it and seeing if I can see it. They're actually, I think the majority of them are in that pile of dirt to the right. There's some fluff in there, and I think they're in it. And there's some at the base of that pine tree right there to the left. But I don't know that at the time. I got my windows shut and all that, trying to keep them all out the cab, which they weren't too. This bunch here wasn't too aggressive like I've seen in the past. I mean, sometimes they're just unreal trying to find out how to get to you and try to get in. All right, I got you moved to the other side so you can see it from a different angle. You see them all to the right there by the palmettos. You can see them pretty good there. So they're getting mad now. So I'm pushing this tree over because there was a bunch of them up under it, like in the root system. So good chance it was going to die anyway. So we're just getting it out of there. And that's a good way to break the nest up. If that tree was covering them up and I didn't get it out of there, they'd dig their way out and be just as mad as ever the next time you come back. Like I said, these things are hard to video. I'm hoping everybody can see it well. But it's, it may seem like it's not, but it's pretty intense when you're digging one of these up because they're trying to get in there. If you mess up and break down, throw a track off, blow a hose, or like in this instance, if I crash this drone right here, I don't know how I'm going to get it back. Because it's basically right on top of them. All right, so I finally got the hole to where I'm happy with it, and now I'm going to start back burying them. That's where I believe most of them were, in that one of them buckets right here. So I'm putting them back in the hole, and then I'm going to cover them up. And this usually takes, I think that was the bucket they were in right there. See them coming out of there. This usually takes a good week for them to starve out or whatever the heck they do. You know, the good thing is they're not nearly as aggressive. You know, after the nest is broke up, they're almost like a man without a country. You know, they will sting you if you get in their way, but they're nothing like they are when the nest is intact. Got to look close, but if you look right at where I'm at in the cab, you can see a couple of them trying to get in right there. They are hard to see, though. And this is a mild attempt, I guess, because of the cool weather. Usually there's 10 times as many trying to get in there. It's kind of cool to drone. Got the shadow in the video. That's neat. Okay, so the drone battery's going dead, so I got me a forced landing situation. It's already tried to land itself. I was so preoccupied with the yellow jackets trying to get in on me. It just tried to land itself next to the machine, which will be a disaster because it probably won't lift back off, and there's no way for me to walk up there and get it. But I got it away from there. Fortunately, I got the landing stopped, and I'm backing away now so you can kind of get, you know, a better view of things. So that road's, as soon as I get them yellow jackets out of the way, we're going to go on with this road. There was the low spot. You know, we've already built up through it. That took a lot of dirt. This intersection that we're flying up on took a lot of dirt. Got a ditch we put in right there on the right. Or kind of reestablished. It was already there. And I try to land on the hood here. Notice I'm in a hurry. Trying to land on the hood. And I can't see. I really can't see I can't see the drone where it's at. It won't let me land there. I guess because of the curves in the hood. Shot me down on that. And so I wound up landing on the cab. And it's kind of, you know, you're kind of guessing. It's guesswork because you can't really see under. Even if you point the camera straight down, sometimes that helps. But I really didn't feel like I had time for it at this point. So I just landed it best I could. And here we are. So that went well. Wanted to show you guys my landing. So I was low battery landing. Down there is where the yellow jacket nest was. So I was down there in the machine. I couldn't really get out because there was enough on the machine. They were gonna get me pretty good if I opened the door. So I flew it down here and landed it on the truck. And it's actually pretty hard to do because you can't see directly under you. I've got me some practice at it and I've gotten a lot better. So that's where we landed. I tried the hood, but I guess those ridges in the hood, the drone doesn't like it. It told me that wasn't a suitable place, but it did allow me to land on this curve. So pretty happy. I'm gonna go ahead and get it off the top before I forget it. So the main reason I normally try to land on the machine or on the truck or something like that is because when you land on the ground a lot of times, especially if you like hadn't set you up an area, and I don't never do that, there'll be sticks or maybe a root or some grass or something sticking up and your props get all in it. And it chops your blades up on your drone. That's the reason I normally try to land back on the truck if I can. The drone's pretty good about not picking a bad place, but it doesn't account for grass and sticks sometimes. So this is day number 2. So no, wait. This is the 3rd day after I dug them up. So there's still quite a few swarming, and I am proceeding to bury them at this point. I'm putting fresh dirt on them and getting rid of them. Yeah, so day 3 treatment is put, 3-4 foot of dirt on them. And then hopefully when I go back, they'll be mostly gone and dead. Guys, please comment below and let me know what you liked. If you like the drone landing, if you like this content, let me know. Wasn't sure, if the drone landing should be a part of the video or not, but I thought it was cool, so I just went and stuck it in there, and maybe you'll like it too. I don't know. So here we're back to clearing. We're digging up stumps and scratching up stuff, and we're burying it under the ditch, in a place that's not going to be a problem, and we're producing dirt for the road like this, and fortunately we have a lot of good dirt to deal with here. So that's what's happening.